In this envelope, I have the only credit card you will ever need in Dubai, period. After using it for 2 consecutive years and on a regular basis, I can now crown the credit card king of Dubai and perhaps the UAE as well. Can you guess already which one is it? Wait a second, don't think of the best banks in the UAE, as in this case it has nothing to do with it. We are only speaking about the credit card itself, and you don't even need to open a bank account for it. But there are a few other requirements which you have to satisfy in order to meet the eligibility criteria. Are you ready to find out which one is it? From the start, I'll say that I'm not sponsored whatsoever. I actually do use this credit card myself, and you will see it from the scratches as well. Already you can tell that it is black, and by the weight itself, if you would have felt it, it's pretty heavy. So it is actually metal. But wait, that shouldn't scare you away, as the terms have changed since the last year and even from my last video, and you will be actually able to get it way easier this time. So drum roll, this is the Emirates NBD MasterCard World Elite by Marriott Bonvoy, and it looks just like that. And this is only one of the 2 newly introduced cards, because now there is not just one, there is World Elite and there is just the World MasterCard. And like I mentioned, you can actually see the scratches here. I truly used it very much for the past 2 years. So how does this credit card work, and why I personally think is the best on this market? While initially there was only one card, which is the one that I have, and is the MasterCard World Elite, and that's actually the one that I think is the best on the market. With that one, you would have spent every month on just normal shopping, groceries, whatsoever, and you will be receiving Marriott points with every single purchase. There are of course different terms and conditions for every single type of purchase and how many points exactly you will get with that, but you will be able to check all of those if you visit the Emirates NBD website. However, if you would have traveled with this credit card, you would get even more points. So in the case of the World Elite MasterCard, you would have gotten 6 points per every single dollar spent at hotels participating in Marriott Bonvoy, and you will earn 3 points for every single dollar on international and all other spends. While with the other second credit card newly introduced, World MasterCard, you would be getting 3 points per dollar spent at the hotels, and simultaneously 1.5 points per each dollar spent on international and other spends when you do travel. You see, the difference is rather simple. You can just go on the website and check the differences between those 2 credit cards. With the World Elite, which is the better level, I think you get a pretty good value, and it is really worth paying for the maintenance of the credit card. While with the newly introduced World MasterCard, you can still get pretty good benefits and all the other just normal benefits that are included with the other credit card. Yet if you want to maximize your spend points and accumulation of the points in the Marriott Bonvoy app and maybe transferring them to your airline partners, then you definitely have to go for the World Elite. Some other points that I want to mention in the differences between these 2 credit cards is that with the Elite one, you would get the Marriott Bonvoy Gold Elite status right away, which has loads and loads of benefits, 25% extra points on stays and enhanced room upgrades. So every single time you would actually get a room upgrade, and I'm always getting it when I'm traveling, and that is super sweet. Secondly, you will get late checkouts, usually 2 p.m. or even later, while with the other credit card you wouldn't really be able to benefit of the same things, because you would still get a pretty good upgrade. You would get the Silver Elite status, and that would include 10% extra points on stays, some priority late checkouts, and some reservation guarantees on the Marriott Bonvoy app. With both credit cards, you are being given the chance to upgrade to the next level, and that is pretty hefty, to be honest, because with the Elite one you would be able to upgrade for the Platinum after you spend $100,000 annually, which is not a small ask, while with the other credit card you have to spend $40,000 to get the Gold Elite status. In both cases, you would get a free night award after you complete 1 full year, which is really nice and cool, as you don't really expect it after your first year, and you get 30,000 points for the World credit card, and you get 50,000 now with the World Elite credit card. To give you a comparison, a 35,000 points would get you a one-night stay at some of the really best hotels in Abu Dhabi, let's say somewhere in October, because that's a pretty good time to come there and also benefit of the good pricing. And that includes even hotels such as Edition, Ritz-Carlton, the Luxury Collection, St. Regis, W and JW Marriott, which are some of the most luxurious hotels in the Marriott group, and that is pretty exclusive, I would say, because if you were to pay for those hotels, that would cost you a big sum of money. Before we get into all the other benefits that await us, I will let you know about some of the hotels that are participating in the Marriott group in case you are not aware of them, because it's not only about luxury, it actually includes quite a lot of hotels in the premium segment, select segment, and longer stay segment, which is more or less a 3-star hotel range, and that is way more affordable and super good because you won't spend too many points at the same time. That's why, in case you are thinking that getting the Marriott Bonvoy credit card, you will be tied to being a member of Marriott Bonvoy family, which already is super good, and you would get so many benefits just being part of that. You are actually not supposed to only spend your nights in luxury or premium segments. You can choose hotels such as 4 Points, Courtyard, AC Hotels, A-Loft, and Moxie, which are amazingly good hotels, and they are super good and on the lower end of the budget, so you would be able to mix it up whenever you travel. I personally also try to mix them up, and if I go for business, I would most probably take some of the lower end of the budget hotels, because I wouldn't really care about the actual facilities of the hotel. I would just be sleeping there and going to my conferences or meetings, and when I actually want to relax, then I would get something on more of the upscale high end of the selection, while two of my favorites is the Edition and Ritz-Carlton, and you would guess why, because they just have everything you need for a relaxed and calm stay. Getting back to the credit cards, you would ask me what is actually the limit that you can get on it, because it doesn't really mention on the website, and you will have to send your credit report, which is not always good because they will have the check on you, and that will always affect slightly negatively your credit profile. So you want to know this information, because that might help you in case you have higher expectations or lower expectations. That's why you need to know that if you want to get this credit card, your maximum limit that you can benefit of is actually up to 3 times your salary, or x3 of your income if you are self-employed or you are a business owner. I personally wouldn't recommend going for higher, because that will probably not go through, and you'll just have another check on your credit profile, which won't really benefit you overall. And also, if you don't need that credit, then I would also suggest not going for the maximum that you are allowed, and just get the credit that you know that you can pay without any issues every single month and in full, so you're not getting charged. Now, if we speak about the welcome bonus, that is the biggest winner in this case, because with both cards you actually get some bonuses for just joining the program, and obviously the best one is with the World Elite Mastercard, where you get 200,000 bonus points with just joining. That includes earning 100,000 Marriott Bonvoy points upon activation of the card and also paying off the joining fees. Now, we will get back to the eligibility criteria and all the fees, but for now I'll tell you that for the World Elite Mastercard, the annual fee is 1,575 dirhams, and for the other credit card, with the World Mastercard, you will get 2 free night awards when you spend $6,000 or more within the first 3 months and redeem towards 2 complimentary nights at participating hotels and resorts worldwide. While with the World Elite Mastercard, besides the 100,000 Marriott Bonvoy points upon activation, you also get an additional 100,000 bonus points when you spend $15,000 on any kind of retail purchases in the first 3 billing statements, which honestly in Dubai is not as hard to do, because even if you personally don't have those expenses planned, you can simply ask some of your friends or co-workers who can help you out with this and just buy them a cake or something. Honestly, this welcome bonus points are for me the deal breaker in this case, because when I was looking for credit cards, this was the moment that made it happen for me and made me get this credit card, because I just simply looked over the Marriott Bonvoy app and the website to check how much in points are those hotels where I might travel to in the next upcoming few months or year, and I saw that if I get 200,000 points and I spend on the annual maintenance fee 1,575 dirhams, then those points actually equal to way more than 1,500 dirhams, and most probably it's going to be worth around 5 times that price. But we'll get back to this in a minute, because I want to show you a simple case where you would get those joining points and what you can spend them on while joining the app, and also going through my personal app and see what kind of deals are there at this right moment. One other thing which is really cool is that you can transfer those points to any of the members in the Marriott Bonvoy application, and that is super easy to do. You just go on the website and request for this transfer. It happens in literally seconds, and the only catch is that you can only do up to 100,000 points per year on that specific member. So let's say both you and your wife or girlfriend, similarly to my personal case, have these cards and you are traveling together, then you can actually combine all those points. And honestly, for me, I never pay for any hotels ever since I got this card, because I'm just combining the points, and even if I wouldn't combine, it's actually enough to travel for free to all those destinations that you want throughout the year, at least let's say 3 times, 3 holidays, small or up to a week. That's enough for that. Most definitely with the welcome bonus, that will, trust me, keep you for at least a year traveling without any spendings. The other type of transfer is transferring to the participating airlines with Marriott Bonvoy, which are almost all the airlines that you would find on the market, at least from the major good ones, the national carriers as well. And the only catch here again is that the transfer is going to be equal at around 3-to-1 conversion when transferring points on the fly with more airlines. And if we look at the website, we can see that most of these airlines are actually having a 3-to-1 ratio, except Air New Zealand, which is crazy at 200-for-1. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but let me know if you are from New Zealand or traveling there and if that is true. And besides all that, if you did all these transfers and you still need more miles, you can actually purchase up to 100,000 miles per year for you or for any other member. And the same is with the points. You can actually purchase up to 100,000 points and then convert them or do whatever you wish with them. Now, if we go to the Marriott Bonvoy app, I will actually showcase my very own personal app that I use. You get on the main screen page where you can see your profile, how many points you currently have, and how many nights you have actually stayed this year. So if we click on the points, you can see that mine is Gold Elite. I have stayed 17 nights this year and I have a total of 159 points, which is nothing because I already booked all my trips this summer and I spent all the points. However, you can also look at the book page where you can see what are the hotels nearby, what are the recently viewed, and also any other benefits and types of stays that Marriott Bonvoy app presents you. Another cool thing is that Marriott Bonvoy actually doesn't only offer you hotel stays, but it also offers you experiences. And last year, for example, when we went to Paris, we had a romance 3-day package experience where they welcomed us with an upgraded view, and we were looking at the Sacré-Cœur, which is the Basilica in Paris. It was a beautiful, beautiful stay at the courtyard there, and we would have the welcoming gifts such as the champagne, and we also had some chocolates. And besides that, we had breakfast every single day, because you should know that when you spend those points, when you apply them for every single booking, you are actually not getting breakfast. So definitely don't forget that if you never use the app, because I also thought that I would always get breakfast similarly to booking. However, this is not the case. You would only get breakfast if you use your working codes. So if you're working at some of the big four companies, for example, then you would have to use the code that they give you, and you would also have the breakfast applied to your rate. Now we can go to the account again. You can see that we can also refer friends, and I'm gonna come to this in a minute. You can also see how many nights you need for the next upgrade. So in my case, it's 33 nights away from Platinum Elite. And then you can see all other notifications that are here. You can see your account activity and the member benefits. The app itself is really easy to use. I always open it up when I'm traveling somewhere, just checking and comparing different hotels, and you can see all the reviews as well. You can select your rooms, very similar to Booking or even Airbnb and any other of those websites, Goda and so on. It's super easy to use. You have the support as well, so if you actually have the Marriott Bonvoy credit card, you can call ENBD on a preferred number and they will answer you right away. You will have a very elevated support, and that is really helpful in this region, you probably already know. Now let's think about a case where you want to see how much you actually spend per year and what are your rewards in terms of points. And then we can check through the app and see where can these points be applied and how many nights you can benefit at some of the nicest hotels, either in this region or throughout the world. Now, if we look at the calculator, here we have a generic example of having these spends for international spends, retail and dining, supermarkets, fuel and utility, and so on, that adds up to getting you 169,380 points per year. And now let's see where you can actually use those points after you've accumulated them. Let's say you want to go and travel to Bali, which is my favorite island, you most probably already know by this time, and you would go to the app and check where you can go. You would put in Bali. Let's say you want to go in the month of September for a week. So we would put 6th of September till 13th of September, continue with 7 nights and use points. Always use this because you will see the price in points. Then you click on Find Hotels and you will be seeing a map full of those available hotels that you can use. Now right away you can see that for this 1 week stay, if you want to go to Fairfield by Marriott, you would have to spend 87,500 points, which is already not even half of your welcome bonus, which is why I truly believe this is a superb deal. And you can choose either you want a queen, a 2-bed, or you wanna just upgrade as well, but most probably you will be upgraded because you are getting this free upgrade with the Gold Elite status. I'm not going to go through too many hotels on that list, but you can see that your points actually can take you very far away and at a very good cost, because even in this case that we calculated, you already joined and you met the initial welcome bonus criteria, you got 200,000 points, and you also accumulated 169,000 from just spending throughout 1 year. So by now you would have had 370,000 points, which is more than enough for even spending a month and more in Bali. Of course, if you check some other places throughout the world, Paris is super expensive, so you might even spend all these points for just 5 to 6 nights in the city center of Paris, and the same applies to other bigger cities like New York, London. It's always more expensive because obviously those hotels have to generate money, and points are actually a currency as well. And if they don't charge you enough, then they are making losses. However, if you travel to Southeast Asia, to Latin America, or even to the GCC area, then you will benefit of really good offers. Another cool thing is the Express Points program, which gives you up to 50% more points every month for all the purchases, and that's subject to 12,000 Express Points per month. So basically, if you spend 24,000 as in points, then you would get 50% of that at the max, which is 12,000, and if you spend more per month, then you will just be capped at 12,000. For this service, you would pay 300 dirhams per month and you would be getting basically double points, which is pretty cool when you wanna just accumulate them much quicker and you wanna go for a holiday, for example. Besides that, there are hundreds of other benefits, and I really don't overestimate this credit card because you get a lot of really cool things, such as the Credit Shield Pro, which basically secures your life with all kinds of enhanced benefits in case of any kind of emergencies like life cover, job loss cover, and any kind of hospitalization. This is really cool, and of course you need to pay for this service as well, but that is worth it, I think, if you want to just be on the safe side. Then you also get a concierge desk, you get chauffeur rides, you can get Kareem rides to the airport, drop-offs, pickups for free. You can always benefit of the travel insurance with this credit card whenever you go outside of your home base, and then you get also loads of discounts on the car rentals, on Uber rides, free valet parking at all the spots that have this in the Middle East, and even outside. I always use this service. This is super cool, and mostly when you don't have any time or you don't have any place to find to park your car, this is just such a lifesaver. You get a lot of discounts on retail, all kinds of loss damages, waivers, and insurances for personal things, 24 hours assistance, all kinds of bills integrations with Salik, which is the road tax here in Dubai. And in terms of financial, you can also access up to 50% of your credit card as in instant cash. You will be definitely charged for that. I think every single withdrawal will charge you 99 dirhams, and then you will have to pay 3.15% on the amount that you have withdrawn until the moment that you paid all this sum off, which I think is actually not super worth it, and it will definitely end up in loads of fees for you. However, if you really get into that situation that you need it quickly, you have this option, and you also have flexible payment plans, which can be quite a lifesaver when you don't have any other options whatsoever and you just need it urgently. Finally, of course, you don't get any fees if you just pay in full your outstanding balance at the end of the month or whenever you get the statement, and after that you will get interest-free days of up to 55 days for paying your next balance. Now, if we quickly go through the eligibility criteria for the Elite MasterCard, you can see that you need to have a minimum salary nowadays of 20,000 dirhams. It actually used to be 35,000 back in the day when I applied. You will have an interest rate of 3.25% in case you don't pay or you want to extend your payments. And then you obviously have the annual fee, which is 1,575 dirhams. And then you have quite a few other bullet points that you have to complete in order to meet the eligibility criteria. And for the other type of credit card, actually all the requirements are exactly the same. The only difference is that for that credit card you won't get as many benefits, and you also will pay less of an amount, 315 dirhams per year. By now you probably got a good understanding of this credit card, and I wanna also just mention a few of the things that you should be aware of and you should always take care of, because if you won't, then you might end up with very high fees and charges, so you really want to avoid that. Some of them I already mentioned, but just to name them again, you get 3.15% interest if you go over the limits, if you don't pay for your outstanding balance, so definitely try to avoid that. Also, you have late payment penalties, which are also not super huge. It's around 300 dirhams every single time, but you really want to avoid that as well. For the cash advance, I already mentioned that if you want to get out the cash from the credit card, you will get charged at the ATM, and you also probably want to avoid that, or just get a credit card that will be mainly looking for this benefit for you, and use the Marriott Bonvoy for anything else. Overall, you can definitely visit the Emirates NBD website and see all the charges and all the fees that you might expect with this credit card. However, these were the main ones that I personally experienced, and I wanted to tell you and to inform you to not make those kind of mistakes, and just be careful of what you spend, how much you do, and just pay everything on time and in full. Finally, another cool thing that I want to mention is the referrals. If you get the credit card and you want to refer some of your friends, colleagues, or family members, you can do so, and you will be getting up to 15,000 points for every successful referral, which by now you probably understand that is at least one night in Bali, for example. At the same time, with the second credit card, just the World MasterCard, then you will get 10,000 points, which is also really good. So if you don't want to spend too much on the annual fees, then that is the option for you. Now, I also wanted to mention that if you reach out to me and ask me to refer you, then I can happily do so and help you out, and you will receive at least 5,000 extra points. So if you wanna get this credit card by now, if you wanna me to refer you, then please do reach out. And if you have any other questions, comments, or thoughts, then drop all of them in the comment section. This video about the best credit cards before was one of the most popular on my channel, so I really wanted to make this one in details about my very favorite credit card here, and I hope this information was useful to you. And again, if you liked the video, I would really be thankful if you drop a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.